problem of the day. There we go. Problem of the day. It says, it was short and sweet. Change 5/8 into a decimal and percent. We're going to take the fraction 5/8, make it a decimal, turn it into a percent. So let's see how this is going to be done. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy deal to do here, all right? Remember, we've talked about sometimes, I'm going to start right here, I'm going to make it a little bit more emphatic. 5/8, a lot of times you want to call it. It almost looks like 5 side by side, but it's 5/8, or 5/8. A lot of us like to look at it that way as a fraction. But it means division. It means division. So we're going to take this little division and make it into a decimal. All right? You say, well, how do you do that, Ernie? You're going to divide the bottom, the denominator, into the numerator, which is on top. So it's going to look something like this. We're going to take 8, and we'll divide that into 5. And everybody out there says, that won't work. You can't divide 8 into 5. You're right. So what we're going to need to do is put a decimal point there and a 0. I think we did one of our callers yesterday. We had a problem like that, all right? And we kept running some zeros until we ran out of space. Actually, it came out pretty quick. But this one may take a little bit longer because I'm looking at 8 going into 50. And I know 8 will go into 50. It won't go exactly, all right? It won't go exactly. So we're going to do a little estimating here. I know if I go to 7 times 8 is 56. I've gone too high. 6 times 8 is 48. That's just underneath. I can't go over 50, all right? I cannot go over 50. So 48 is going to work. We're going to put a 6 right there, and we're going to multiply. Notice I put the 6 over the 0. That's important. That's important to notice that because it's not over the 5. I'm not saying 8 goes into 5 6 times. I'm saying 8 goes into 50 6 times. And that's going to be extremely important because we're going to place a decimal in the final answer somewhere. All right, so you've got to be careful. Be careful on those things. We have said 6 times 8, we're going to get a 48. We are going to subtract, and that's going to leave us with 2. Well, that doesn't work very well either. But that's good because we shouldn't have a remainder that is equal to 8 or more if we've done this correct so far. So what we're going to do, we're going to try again. We're going to bring down another 0. Bring it right down there, and we're going to look at 8 going into 20. Now that we can deal with. Go in there twice. Go in there 2 times. And again, we're going to say 2 times our 8, which gives us 16. Hope you all know your 8 times table. Certainly everybody can handle the doubles business. I'm multiplying by 2. There you go. Let's subtract. 20 minus 16. We're going to have 4 left over. And we got one more around, hopefully. Man, this thing keeps going, doesn't it? Let's bring down one more 0. And let's see what's going to happen. We have 40, and we're going to divide 8 into 40. Now, I like that because I've got a 0 on the end of it again, and I know I need a 5 or a 0 to work on this thing. And you know what? 5 times 8 will give me 40. That's what I'm looking for. We have a 5. 5 times 8, as I said, it is 40, and we have nothing left over. We are out of this one. Oh, almost out of this one. We've got to put a decimal in the problem. And notice I have a decimal sitting right here. I had an 8 out here with no decimal. I had not any need to move except just add zeros here. So this decimal is going to go straight up right in front of 625. So basically that can be read 625 thousandths with a th on the end of it. Sometimes we like to call it 0.625 or 625, but it is less than 1. All right, it is 5/8. It's also 625 thousandths, as I said. But let's go one step further. Now that we've gotten our value here, what happens in order to make this become a percent? What are we going to do to make this a percent? Well, let's see. Decimal needs to move 2 places because that's what happens when we're dealing with percent. We're dealing with hundreds. In this case, we need to multiply this expression by 100, all right? And that's going to push the decimal, as I said, to the right 2 places, and that's going to give us 62 5/10%. Basically, that's 62.5%, all right? So that's your percent. The decimal, again, 625 thousandths, and the fraction form, if we were able to go work back here, would come back to 5/8. Come back to 5/8. They're equivalent expressions, all right? So there you go. Problem of the day. Good short order form. Hopefully you were able to work through that and get where we were going.